Do you know I went to school with a Brett Butler, but he did not look the same as the Brett that came up to sell us internet. He was a captain of our football team at one point. Me? Or are you talking to a cat? Oh, okay. Me? Huh? I feel like you're gonna knock something over today. I don't know, cat. Hello, Alistair. How you doing? Can you put your hand in front of I think the camera already decided not to do what it's supposed to do. At least in the... Oh my god, guys, it's a day. It's a day. Can you put your hand over? How do you do this usually? To reset it. 69. That's not 69. Our camera has been disconnected. Okay, but it's been reconnected, bitch.
Yep. Yeah. Wait for it. No, it needs more. This is the one where you get to see me get frustrated. There it goes. Look at that. Nice 10 frames per second.
Yeah, what is going on?
EOS.
We're getting there, guys. Kanan has decided to be a bitch today.
Just today?
I mean, yeah, Kanan's always a bitch, but Kanan really decided to be a bitch today. I went on to pay it, and it said, you've already paid. And I was like, I thought so. And so I came over here, and it was like, not active, you haven't paid. And I was like, yes, I have. And then I reopened, like, re-logged in. Is that better? I re-logged in, and it was like, oh yeah, you've paid. Hi, Kilted. Hi, Kilted.
Suddenly sounded like a smoker there.
I just lost my voice. I literally just lost my voice. Like right when we got started, I lost my voice.
Ah, great. Would you like some tea then? Some of that.
I blame it on Windows. It's not even Windows. We stream through my Mac. I was gonna make coffee, so yeah, I was gonna have... Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm gonna barely be able to see you guys. I'm asleep now. Okay, good night, Alistair. Have a good sleep. What time is it? You're going to bed early. Going to bed early, Alistair. Can I still blame Windows? You can. I'm gonna blame Google Chrome for the fact that I can barely see chat because it won't let me freaking zoom. Ka-chow! A 10 stream streak. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello. Okay, I'm all good. Welcome in, everybody. It's gonna be a day. Everything is breaking, including us. We are all breaking. We are broken. It is cold in there. Welcome in. My name is MomNoms. I teach cooking and food history. And I've been a professional chef for 20 years. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Today, we're going to talk about the history that, or the role that women played, since it is Women's History Month, the role that women played in Korean cuisine. And let me just tell you, it's pretty much all of it. Like, they did everything. They created everything. And like how women today are actually shaping Korean food being a global phenomenon. So Koreans owe a lot to women to their women about basically making their food. And creating their food and creating the culture around their food, and kind of just making sure that Koreans who aren't even in Korea anymore have the access and availability of the food pretty much everywhere that they go nowadays, even if it's kind of shitty, like here. I'm not actually going to bed. Oh, okay, okay. I want to. Do you guys want to have a sleeping stream instead? We can pretend that I'm teaching you guys something, but we're all just sleeping. That could work. That could work. We're also going to be making kimchi today. It is a kimchi day. We're almost out of our other kimchi. Sleep cuddle stream. Okay, yes. Yes. Lucas is exhausted. I'm exhausted. Lucas woke up with a throat hurting this morning. And obviously I'm not, my voice keeps going in and out. So it's gonna be a day, guys. It's gonna be a day. We're also making our kimchi, and we're making a, I'm gonna, my throat is back to being, I told you I can't see. If I'm here, I really can't see. It's just the tiniest little things on a screen. I'm gonna have to get close and comfortable with chat today in order to be able to see anything that's going on, because it won't let me freaking zoom. I'm blind, you guys. I'm old and I'm blind, and I need to be able to zoom so that I can see chat while I'm actually talking to you guys. Who's that? Who's that? Oh, hi, Steffi. How you doing? How you doing, Steffi? Oh yeah, and we're making Kampung Sam, which is a sweet and spicy shrimp. Did you say meat pop? It's a sweet and spicy meat pop? What's a meat pop? Meatball. I was like, are we eating meat pops now? Is that where we've come? We just grab meat out of the freezer? Oy, oy vey, guys. Okay. I'm It's funny because it's true.
It just isn't working.
Hello, hello. Electrifying radio slides in. Hello. I'm sorry, we're trying to fix my we're trying to fix my chat. It is so small. It's like this big. I can't read it even with my glasses on, and it's just not. I don't know. Everything is broken and I'm dying. But everything is literally broken today. Meat ice cream, yum. Oh, probably not. I spy a red face. Yeah, Red is trying to figure out why my Chrome is like, nah, nah, we're not gonna let you see anything today. If I come real close to you guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. It's the only way to see chat is if I'm right here. It's so terrible. Y'all don't believe in salmonella? It's gotta love tech. Everything is broken. Hi. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome in. So if you're a first-time chatter, I'm glad you found this stream. We're talking, you're gonna hear me ranting a ton today, because we're gonna be talking about, well, women's history, and I rant a ton anyway in women's history. Because my God, you guys, especially when it comes to food, women, immigrants, Black people, POC people, they've been fucked over when it comes to food. And today's no different. Today is absolutely no different. We may be talking about a different country because we are still on our Korean Wednesdays. That will probably switch up sometime in the next coming
And a big welcome.
few months. I just don't know what yet. A big welcome. Welcome in. Thank you so much for that follow. I'm MomNoms, if you didn't know. I'm a veteran chef of 20 years. I teach food history. I teach the racism, classism, and sexism that comes with food, and also teach you how to make food yourself. Hello, Miriam. I'm kidding, of course. But today, specifically, we're making kimchi, which is a food that was directly correlated to Korean women. They'd actually get together when we first started making kimchi, when kimchi was first coming around as an optimal way of storing and processing food because of the cold winters in Korea. Like, let's not starve to death during winter, guys. Korea started fermenting a lot of food, and it was the women who specifically brought out the way that the food is fermented today. Can you fix Cam? Google Chrome is the bad one today. The cam is also broken? Oh. Oh, did you fix Cam? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I can't read chat. It's so little, guys. It's so little. Yeah, that's how it feels right now. I heard it in my headphone. I can actually hear them today. I heard it. Also, kimchi, as we know it today, is not the original kimchi. The first kimchi that they didn't start making the kimchi that we know today until basically the New World, aka the Americas, were conquered, and chili peppers were brought to be cultivated in Korea. They used to use, it used to be a lot sweeter. They would use Asian pears and
a big welcome.
herbs. Hello, welcome in. Blacksmith Pop, thank you so much for that follow. I super appreciate you. Welcome in. It's okay, guys. Ow, that really hurt. I just caught one of your streams and followed. Well, thank you. I'm really glad you're here. I just hurt myself really bad. I hit my thing. Cook your meat. Yes, do not eat. Do not eat raw chicken. Don't eat raw chicken. Alistair, I'm gonna have to come over and make sure that your meat is cooked at all times. At all times. But yeah, so the kimchi that we know today, the red kimchi that has gochugaru in it, which is chili peppers, chili flakes, was not actually the main kimchi until much later in Korean history, because the red chili pepper did not come to them until they conquered here. Being the Americas, specifically until they conquered Mexico. And I find that interesting. Like, fuck conquering. Through colonization. But it's very interesting that things that we see as being traditional, especially the red kimchis that you find, is actually not the traditional way. It was the way that came about afterwards. And that's kind of cool, actually. But the original kimchi, we are going to try to make on stream at some point in the next few weeks. And it is pear and like a lot of seasoning or a lot of spices. And I'm super excited about that. You've been shopping around for ongi so that you can bury it in your garden. I really like to have quite a stock of kimchi, but I've never made it in such a lot that would fill an... I want an ongi so bad. I want an ongi so bad. Sushi chicken. That's disgusting. Disgusting. I'm pretty sure I have a Tingia alert that says the Sposten. You don't need to know how it tastes raw before you can cook it properly. Panhammer. You do not need to know how it tastes raw before you can cook it. Especially because the cooked flavor of chicken is much different than the raw flavor of chicken. So you need to know how it cooks on different kinds of heats, different temperatures of heats, and with different seasoning. Not raw. Not raw. I work from home and keep a laptop on the side with streamers tabbed up to support them. I keep my volume on 1 and leave you tabbed up. I'll be lurking, have fun. Have a great, 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 great lurk. I appreciate you being here and saying hello. Can you get down? I need that. And I need you to not, like, get it all gross. Disgusting! I knew I had that. We're making coffee first while we're going through some of this kimchi knowledge. But I really want to make the original kimchi because I really feel like it will have a drastically different flavor. I mean, obviously it won't be as spicy. It will have more of a sweet note to it. But also, wouldn't it be cool to just know how kimchi tasted before colonization? And also, Korea has been through it when it comes to colonization. So they've had several different countries, but the biggest country that they've had that's tried to colonize them is Japan. And Japan has tried a couple of times, and the last time that they did it, it literally led to the Korean War. And the army base soup that was created during the Korean War is one of the marks of women's history that we're gonna talk about today. Because women are they are cool. They're very cool. Then they no matter what the circumstances, women know that they can't stop and they have to keep going. And they always keep going. And it doesn't matter how far down that they've fallen. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. They just keep going because they have no other choice. Women have no other choice. It's the same with a lot of marginalized communities. A lot of this is gonna probably get on some people's nerves, but if you have the privilege to just quit and give up on things and say, yeah, I'm not doing this, you're probably a white man. Women know that they can't just quit. They can't just stop. And so they use whatever resources they have in order to make sure that they keep going. And in a lot of the Korean women history that we're going to be discussing today, when it comes to food, a lot of the food was created because of that. Because of that. And did they get their proper...
And a big welcome.
Thank you. Hello, welcome in. Dorks for the win. I love your name. I love your name. Welcome in, welcome in. Coffee is done. I didn't mix it well enough because the sugar is I bet you that is why the Korean barbecue sauce that you had has Asian pear puree, because Asian pear has been used as a natural sweetener for centuries. And it's good. We bought Asian pears for a catering event, and I had to taste it beforehand because I was making poached pears. Oh, they were so good. Pear would be good on that crispy pork they like to cook. Oh, yes.
It's not a mouse, but...
Oh no, do you want the mouse?
Yeah.
Here's the mouse.
Thank you.
Here's the coffee.
Uh...
Pear would actually be so good in that on the pork belly, yes. And now I know I have to utilize Kippy to get you to answer me. No, I was answering you. I just can't see the chat. I will take a picture and put it on Discord. It's so little. It's so little. I literally have to walk up to about right here to be able to properly read chat right now. But yes, please utilize Clippy. It's crazy. Like, this is my viewpoint right now. I'm gonna post it in Discord for you guys, because who knows why I can't zoom in. Who knows? But it is kind of annoying, to be very honest. Everything is broken and I'm dying. Okay. Do you have a middle mouse wheel? It's not even doing that. Like, it just won't. It's stuck at 110, and if I'm this far away, I can't see any of it. So I feel very blind, even with my glasses on. Like, I put this sucker up to 200% when I'm streaming food. Like, I put it so hard up. None of the commands or shortcuts or menus even work. They don't. I haven't been here for 20 minutes yet, lol. You're silly. Okay. You probably have been. You probably have been. So, let's start talking about kimchi. Kimchi is, and I know we've discussed this a while, but this is going, a while back we discussed the history of kimchi to a point, but this is going to definitely be, we're going to have a little bit more of a discussion on kimchi, because women were trying to figure out a way to preserve food. Because I don't know if you guys know this, Korea has they have harsh summers and harsh winters in most of South Korea, and North Korea, to be very honest, because this was created before the divide of South and North Korea, which we discussed a few days ago. Maybe yesterday I said it. The reason that it divided is because Japan and America were like, oh, I want a dictatorship. Oh, we want democracy, but it's actually a dictatorship. And so they split it in half. After the Japanese invaded Korea for a very, 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 very long time. There are two Koreas. I haven't, you've been here for 18 minutes. You weren't lying. You weren't lying. And so Korea, or if we're talking about the whole of it, we can go ahead and call it Joseon, because this was created in the Joseon Dynasty, and when Korea was just known as Joseon and not Korea. I don't know if anyone here, what are you whatting about? What happened? Oh,
Swaps to the
oh, weird. Do I think that the Koreas will, North and South Korea will ever combine? No. There's been too much damage there, and there's too much untrust with the Koreas. So I do not, with how today's political climate is, I do not foresee them ever really making their way back into one. I feel there's like a lot that, you know, over the last few years, especially with studying food and like being able to access platforms that are not Eurocentric, we have learned a lot of lies that the Eurocentric people have been told about different countries. I think the biggest culture shock was for China, for people who went on to Red Note when TikTok decided to shut down. Well, when America decided to shut TikTok down, because that's what we do. So we've seen a lot of things that we've been told over time that's just like blatant lies. And I think that we should listen to the people of the countries when they tell us, like, hey, it's not as bad as you think, or whatever they're saying. And I think that we'll find out in due time that maybe North Korea has like some saving grace. I'm not saying that they're not like assholes there, but they do have some saving grace. And I'm not sure yet, because they're still pretty much locked down when it comes to being able to know what's going on. So for kimchi, women were like, okay, our husbands are either merchants and they're going to different places, or they are going out to bring us meat and hunting, or they're farming. But how do we preserve this? Because in the winters, it's too cold to grow anything, and we still need the vegetables from the kimchi. Or we still need the vegetables. We still need the things that we can have during the spring and summer times. And so they started experimenting, and this is like, we're talking about like 800, 900. Yes, the year is like 800 or 900 when this happens. And so they create what we now know as kimchi, and they had an abundance of this cabbage is called Napa cabbage, but it's also called Chinese cabbage, which is not even Chinese, but that's anyway for a later time. It is something that can naturally grow in Korea. And so they had an abundance of this, but cabbage goes bad so fast. So fast. Have you heard the stories of North Koreans trying to get back to their country after being kidnapped by the South? Yeah. Yeah. And for a very long time, North Korean refugees were treated like prisoners in South Korea. And it's very much how we in America treat refugees here. It's very much how things in America are going on right now. There was a big, it is calmed down a little bit, but in the 80s and 90s, it was crazy. It was crazy. Our cat has a springy. Oh, she pushed the spring into the basement. I can see that's possible, but like all the stories, it is difficult to prove anything really. I mean, they're proven by you listening to the people. You listen to the people that it happens to. And oh yeah, no, you only on media, you only see not even the stories that are paid to be seen, the stories that paint a certain picture that governments and rich people want you to see. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but this is obviously how, like, we all know that's how it goes, right? Like, the news and newspapers and stuff like that, unless it's an independent group, is paid for by government and rich people to prove a point on how things are supposed to look. Like, if you want to say Chinese food causes food poisoning, you only post about Chinese food causing food poisoning and you don't post any of the good stuff, then all of a sudden everyone's in uproar that MSG is bad for you. Like, this is how food has gone. This is how the world is going. Yeah. MSG is delicious. I do love me some MSG. Okay, I think I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be a purist and it's just cabbage kimchi, or I should add something else. Should I add something else, guys, before? You know what? We can decide this later because this needs to soak. Kimchi. Salt it heavily, fill it up with water, press it down, and just leave it for a bit. We're gonna rinse it and change out the water a few times, but this is the begin. This breaks down enzymes. If you've never been here on a kimchi day, we do this like once a I mean, we've done it twice, but we're gonna be doing this like once a month because we run out of kimchi about once a month. And I explain it every time. I've never not explained it. Maybe next month we'll make a white kimchi, a traditional white kimchi instead of a regular gochugaru kimchi. What else would you add? Pepper, we can add peppers, we can add zucchini, we can add, what else do I have in there? I probably have some cucumbers in there. We have a lot that we can add. Do I want to? Oh, we can add onion. Not that you would like it. Actually, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't. No, I like pickled onions, but I like pickled red onions. I don't think I've ever really had a fermented white onion before, but I'm not saying it would be terrible, but just definitely something I've never had. So we salt and press down our Napa cabbage in water. And this breaks down the enzymes, allowing it to be properly fermented. And like you can do this up to 6 hours. Obviously we're not going to sit here for 6 hours, but yes, I'll do just Napa cabbage. I'll just add pickles. What's the difference? So Kilted, the original kimchi did not have gochugaru because they did not have chili peppers in Korea. That did not get introduced to Korea until after the Europeans settled the Americas. And it was brought to them, the seeds and the peppers were brought to them from the basically southern Central America, Mexico and Guatemala and like that area that has an abundance of, well, it's easier to grow peppers in a certain climate, and their climate is correct for growing peppers. And so their climate very much matches summertime climate in Korea. And so it was easy to bring over and cultivate and grow in Korea, thus making gochugaru and gochujang a very, very big thing, and a cheap thing. It is garlic, ginger, yeah, radishes, chestnuts, Asian pear, and sometimes pine nuts, depending on the season that it's being made in, to be very honest. But I really want to try it. I'm excited. And yes, I want an ongi too so bad. I want it so I can make my own gochujang, my own doenjang, and my own soy sauce and miso paste, and maybe even fermented tofu. Maybe. I mean, I shouldn't bury a bunch of ongis in my backyard and then my landlord come over and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's not drugs, it's food, my guy." I want to try kimchi, but all the ones in store are crazy. So I would like visually just see one made with Napa and just the spices and seasons. I have some left over from my last batch if you would like to see it. It's the main kimchi that I use on Korean streams. And it's great. And kimchi is not that terrible to make, and a lot of the things that are in commercial grocery stores, I'm not talking Asian grocery stores, but commercial grocery stores, it is not correct. I don't know how to put it. It's very whitewashed. It's very white. So that they could sell to the white consumer, which is part of today's story, actually. It is real. It's American kimchi. Yeah. It's American kimchi. And that is actually part of the story of women in Korean food. Because the Korean women are fucking smart. They're smart. Okay. So we're in the kimchi. We're in like right before 1,000. We're in the pretty much the 1st century, guys. And they start wanting to build community in their villages because living in Korea is hard, but living pretty much anywhere during this time period is super hard. We're just learning how to cultivate food. We're just learning how to like properly cook food. We're just learning how to hunt and gather and not kill ourselves. Add microplastics. You're so silly, Alistair. And so women are like, okay, everyone is doing their own thing all day, every day. Why don't we, they came up with the fermentation process and they made it a community event. All of the women would gather in villages and start making kimchi. We were watching a show called Tastefully Yours, and the rich bitch, that's all I can say, the rich bitch, who's trying to ruin everything, she has a marketing ad that is her with a bunch of other Korean women making kimchi. And that is the vision that was basically created from this time in the first, second century, when all of the women would come and make kimchi together as a way to show that they were in it together. They were in starvation together. They were in almost like ruins together. You know what I mean? And it built up a strong sense of community, but it also built a foundation of Korea. And by that, I mean Koreans treat food so much different than we treat food. Koreans see food as culture, as community, at least older. It has changed a little bit, but not much, to be very honest. Food still plays a huge part in community in Korea. They celebrate holidays. Yes, I'm using frozen shrimp today just because I don't feel like cleaning and cutting shrimp. That takes too long, and I'm too damn tired, you guys. I'm too tired. They see food as community. They give food as gifts for birthdays, for holidays, for special things. Food is a gift. Food is something from the heart in Korea. And it started because women are the primary people who created food culture. And it has always been women linking together in order to make their community better. I didn't hear food. When you said food plays so much part, I heard, oh my God. Like having 10 combos at the same time, lol, at the absolute, if you could actually talk side by side with you. Oh my God. If you could actually like jump on a Discord, we should have calls during like the end of stream, like call in with your food questions. I'll answer it for you. Should we do that, guys? Should we do a once a week call in? And it would just be you. I would gladly answer your questions. Gladly. So, kimchi is a basis of Korean cuisine, and it was created by women. But so much of the food that we eat today from Korea actually stemmed from around the same time, and it actually stemmed from the same reasons. Not saying that women had a good time, though, because the same ideology that we see a lot of today in America, and a lot since like since America, I vote yes. The things that we see a lot today is that women should be barefoot in the kitchen. And shouldn't be part of the professional, despite the fact that their cuisine traditionally comes from women. We see that women don't belong in professional kitchens. Lies. Remember me asking the tempura question while I was literally standing in the Asia market? Rude. Hey, you asked Lucas. You asked Lucas. You didn't ask me. Barefoot and prego. Yeah. And this is something that I believe that most modern countries have been through. And, you know, some have done better with it and being equal than say, here in America, because like trad wives and anorexic girls are trending again, and it feels like we went right back to 1960. Yay. Anyway, it always says I'm offline. It literally always, I never put it online. You can ask anyone who's been on Discord with me for a very long time. I never put my Discord online. Because um I hide from people. Well, now I know, yeah. But I'm usually online. It's usually on my computer on one of the screens, and I'm checking it quite often. Um, I just don't put it online. I hide from a lot of people. I don't always want to have a conversation with people. So if it's a person I don't want to have a conversation with, if I says I'm offline, I can answer in 12 hours instead of immediately. I no longer have the pressure to answer immediately. So, which is wild to me that the people who created your food, and we're going to see this tomorrow too when we start talking about the American women in food history, is that the respect given to actual women chefs, the respect given to women who cook is not there. You're supposed to cook. You're supposed to cook for the family and the community, but you're not supposed to make a profit from it. And a lot of Korean women who tried to, historically in the past during the Joseon era and like before it became Korea as we know it today, they weren't allowed. Although the first Michelin star ever given in Korea was to a woman, it was not to a man. And I find that fascinating because Korean women, they have so much knowledge and that has just been passed down. And we actually can see that. You're off the hook. I took you not being there as not being there. I understand. I understand. They have the knowledge that's been passed down. There are so many Korean families that have cookbooks that are from like 1100, 1200. From like so early in modern time, because it was tradition as these women were creating their recipes to write it down so they could pass it down to their family. Because like I said, food is absolutely spiritual to Korean people. You can see that when you talk about temple food and the fact that they actually have someone, a woman, who is the master. She is a monk who is the master of Korean food because it's spiritual to them. It is culture to them. And so they wanted to pass it on to their families. They wanted to pass it on to the other women so that the other women could, in fact, like take it and modify it or make it better depending on what Korea was going through at the time. Lucas really does. Even with me, I'll send him a text message and he'll be in the other room and I don't hear it for like ever. Hello, Panda. We're talking about Korean food and the role that women played in Korean food. It's a lot. They basically created the Korean cuisine that we know today. And we're up into the point where basically they have been sitting around, they bring their other women in and they create these recipes, but then they write them into books. They write cookbooks. And some of the oldest cookbooks that family have are from like 1200, 1300, 1400. And it's just knowledge. And this knowledge is passed down generation to generation. And the women of the family, they modify it, they create more, they figure out how that it can be done in modern times with modern ingredients. Hence, when chilies were added, we got the kimchi that we know today. You just hate people is rated E. Do you hate me, Alistair? Women in Korean food? I thought cannibalism was frowned upon. Hey, there's been lots of cultures who are cannibal. Should we have a cannibal stream? Should we have an eat the rich stream? Sorry, guys. So let's get into when Korea started getting occupied by other Asian cultures. We're not even to them getting occupied by white cultures. Let's continue with them being occupied by Asian cultures. When a country tries to take over another country, one of the things that they do, and to their own people, by the way, we're experiencing that right now, is they try to starve you. They make food too expensive. They make food limited. There is so many times in history where famines were artificial. But I like you more than I hate you. That's fair. That's fair. I'd be down to watch a pozole stew for a while. That's so funny. Eat the rich. Hell yeah. Let's do it. I really think I have a great recipe. Someone just needs to bring me the meat. Bring me the meat. I'm not going to ask questions. It's going to be like Bob's Burgers when he got the horse meat, okay? No questions asked. Just say it needs special treatment with a wink, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I get that. I get that. Also, yeah, we missed you. My goodness, that boss fight was crazy. I wound up putting myself on easy so we could get through it. Because if you play with two players, if one in the end part, if one person dies, you both die. Actually, every part that it's not a scene, like you're not on the baseball field and it's just like on top of each other, if one person dies, you both die. And I was like, damn. Rich and fatty. It is definitely rich and fatty. You know, they sit. They sit a lot because they don't have to worry about anything. They're not like us. They don't stand on their feet all day. They sit a lot. I love Lucky's voice though. I loved that. I loved it. We loved the song. We were getting slightly frustrated towards the end because it literally took us 20 minutes last time that we played and an hour and 45 minutes last time to finish it. There needs to be more checkpoints. Wink, wink, wink. Yes. Yes. Okay. So Korea being where they are like located, it was kind of easy to conquer them. And they had Japan coming in. Japan came in like 536 80, and once again in 1910. Well, when they came in the 500s, they tried to starve off everybody. Everyone was very nice when they came in. They were travelers. Koreans are very nice to you if you're a traveler. You come into their home, they give you food. You come into their home, they give you protection, they give you love. So like a lot of other cultures had been there at that point, but when Japan came in, it was for nefarious reasons. Very nefarious. Japan was very much like Britain during this time period, if you know what I mean. They're like, aha, you're lesser than me because we have an island. So, and the fact that they only had an island, and it's not the biggest island in the whole world, they wanted more land. They wanted more resources, and they wanted to steal the things that other people had. And Korea at this time was a very rich culture, a very, 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 very rich culture. Slanders. Oh, hold on a second, you guys. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry, I was coughing. I was coughing and I did not want to coughing, you guys. I'm still not feeling the best, but it's fine. So we have an ad starting in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. So I'm gonna wait to actually start the shrimp dish that we're doing is actually really easy. I might go ahead and just start some rice. But we're gonna end it on basically, and come back to, is basically when Korea first tried to occupy in the 500s. They tried to starve them out, destroy crops, do whatever they could to starve the people, because a starving person is a submissive person. If you take away the ability to read, the ability to learn, and food, you have a submissive person, you have a submissive group who will do things for you, even if it's not morally something that they would normally do. Hopefully you can, okay, y'all, my stream and Twitch are breaking. I gotta go. Nope, it's perfectly fine. Also, Twitch sucks. Twitch really sucks, and it has been breaking a lot. It has been breaking so much. Not just for you, for everybody. And so the women of Korea banded together to start making things from the cheapest ingredients that they could find. And we get a lot of the psalms, which are the wraps in cabbage that you can just eat in one bite. We get a lot of that. We get a lot of very, very rice heavy dishes, a lot of dishes that are rice soups. Stews become a very popular thing. The jjigaes become very, very popular. And we get things that they can easily get their hands on without the Japanese understanding. And they feed the entire fucking nation, guys. Okay. Would not turn on at all. It would not turn on at all. Get down, kitty cat. Twitch be twitching. Twitch be twitching a lot. Yes, it's fixed just in time for an ad, guys. So yeah, bye now. Bye. Be right back. Today is a day.
God damn.
Subs.
How are y'all enjoying the show?
Get down. I'm gonna throw a Cambo football at you guys.
Perfect timing. Bye. I've been making clips still.
You seem to be feeling a little bit better. Did the coffee help? It's extra caffeinated.
And extra sugar.
Yeah.
It's good.
I love this. Hell yeah. Get those emotes going. Oh, you fucking bitch. Can you get down? down. Oh my god. Dummies. 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'm just gonna grab the vegetables that I need. I need a pepper. Garlic. We're gonna have to deep fry some shit.
I was fast enough to follow the camera for me.
These cats be getting on my nerves, you guys. I need this onion. Don't meow.
Stop this little meow.
Don't meow. No. No. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Ad break ends in 13 seconds. No. No. Cough. Whine. Get down. Welcome back, everybody. Today is a stream, guys. Welcome back, everybody. We were in the middle of talking about how the emperor basically was like, I did that. Instead of giving the facts, which is that Korean women basically helped to keep the entire nation from starving to death during Japanese occupation. The emperor of the time in Japan finally basically croaks. They get the emperor out, and we go back to the women's place. Women's place in the kitchen is only to make these recipes, and then the men can sell them, because we're getting into the time period where there's a lot of travel going on. People are going to new countries, new lands, really starting to discover everything. The world has opened up for pretty much everybody, because sea travel becomes a bigger thing, and Korea is a peninsula that is surrounded on 3 sides by sea. And it's the reason why there is a lot of seafood dishes. It's the reason why we're making seafood today, actually, guys. There's a lot of seafood dishes, and there's a lot of ways that they can go if they want to leave. And so Korea has never really been the Asian country. They've never really been that girl. They've never been the Asian country to really go and try to conquer. They were very small, but they're very resilient. So let's skip ahead to when women started attempting to have food businesses. We talked about street food last week, and how there was a lot of people that would come in as travelers, and they would be fed by street food. Men would generally be the ones who are selling the food, but the women were making the food. The women were making the food. They were creating different dishes based on like the taste of the people who would generally come in. They were figuring it all out. They were the backbone of Korean food starting to become a more globalized food. Butterfingers, yummy. I like Nutty Buddies too, but I really want some Butterfingers, to be very honest. Courtney was eating a Nutty Buddy the other day, and I was like, oh my god, that looks good. No, ma'am! These cats think they own my house. They think they own my house. Get down. Get down. We're basically just gonna prep everything that we need for this dish. The only thing that's not gonna be prepped yet is that I have to put together my powder so that I can fry these bibas up. And I'm excited about that. But they weren't really given the credit that they deserve because women rarely are. They weren't really given the credit that they deserve on the fact that the reason that it was becoming such a globally popular food is because women worked their freaking asses off to make sure that there was always food, they were coming up with new recipes all the time just to make sure there was always food for their family. And then when merchants started coming, they wanted to help with making money, making a name for themselves and making money. And so we see them like basically be pushed to the side. Now, where their story changes a little bit and ours kind of just remains the same is that this is still happening for women in America right now. But most of the big food companies in Korea have a woman CEO that they like are the 18th, 19th, 20th generation of whatever they're creating, whether it be of doenjang or gochujang or like consumer packaged goods or anything like that. They're killing it. So if we get into, let's get into the 1900s. I know we're skipping a little bit, but it gets really repetitive. Women make food, men steal food that women make. Men say they made food. Women's history. Women creates thing, man steals thing that women created. Woman never gets actually told, like, congratulated for the things that they make. Don't mind me. Remember how I said I got into Pink's ear on stream and 10 combos at once with the both of us? Yeah. Are you familiar with that cookie? Which cookie? Oh, I love Nutter Butter, the Nutty Buddies. I love Nutter Butter. Yes, it's the one that's shaped like a peanut and it has peanut butter inside of it. Correct? Those are really good. So let's go into the second occupation, the second Japanese occupation in the early 1900s. They come in and they steal land. Again, it's the 1900s. What else are we going to do to people we think that are lesser than us? Like, live peacefully with them? Nah, we're going to steal their land. So Japan comes in and occupies. At this time, in 1910, Korea is still one bigger nation. It is not split into two nations yet. It's because of this Japanese occupation that it does get split into two nations. And we go through World War I. We go through World War II. Korea is literally starving right now. The Koreans are not doing well. They are starving to death. They don't have money. They are constantly being abused by the Japanese because of being different. And they're not, little did we know, they're not that different. Most people aren't. Can you get that? And women are sneakily making food during this time period. They're using whatever resources they can get. They're like 90 other kimchis come around during this time period because like it's basically the easiest food that you can put whatever in, ferment it, and then bam, you have a meal. And so we see an explosion of different kimchis, an explosion of rice dishes, an explosion of cabbage dishes, because this is legitimately all they can do to like help their family and their people. Skip ahead. You know what I still don't get though? While we're in this time period, what I don't get is that, you know, we went after Japan, or we went after Germany, and we did go after Japan, especially America. America went after Japan because they bombed us. But what I don't understand is why we didn't step in during this time period, like we stepped in with Germany, to be like, hey, y'all need to get the fuck out. Oh my God. Like, why didn't we tell them to get the fuck out? The world will never know. The world will never know. We just were like, yeah, okay. We don't care that Asians are fighting each other, I guess. I'm trying to figure out how I want to cut this. I think I'm going to do it this way. And it's not until the Korea War that we really see like a revival in food. And that's because one very, very, very fucking brave lady decided to go into base camps and steal food. Hawaii wasn't a state until 1959. Yes. Yes, I know that. We're talking about Korea though. Oh, but we had an army base in Hawaii, and that is why we went after Japan, because they weren't a state, but they were a part of the United States. Kind of like Puerto Rico right now. They're a part of the United States. They're not a state. They still have all of the same rights as a United States citizen, technically. But yes, they are a U.S. territory. The U.S. only jumps in when it's beneficial to themselves. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, which is why they tried to jump into fucking Korea, because they're like, yo, we still fucking hate you, to Japan, and now we need to go spread democracy. Get out of here with that bullshit. We occupied too by force. Yeah, well, Hawaii was occupied way before that. The history of Hawaii is crazy. Forced them into statehood. The history of Hawaii is absolutely insane. Before Hawaii was occupied by America, it was occupied by British people. Obviously, because like all good things start with England, guys. The British people occupied them, and the British people are the ones that kind of forced them into the tourism life, I guess. And like completely fucked up everything for Native people there. And then America came in and was like, this is ours now, because like America and England are just, that's our older brother, so we steal everything away from them, but we have to act just as bad as them. Just as bad, but no one wants to talk about that. Everyone will point their fingers and be like, America, why aren't you doing something? Bitch, why haven't you? Because this has been going on for a long time. We have rights. Rights. We have rights. Democracy and Christianity. Oh my God. Christianity and mission trips is just the Christian way of saying that they're colonizing a place, which they did to Korea, which is why the Christian religion kind of came around in Korea and kicked Buddhism out and made it very hard to live in harmony there. Because honestly, what are the Buddhists doing to you guys? Nothing. They just want peace. They want peace. They want everything to be like peaceful and to commune with nature and to be part of nature. And you're going to go around and be like, no, they're the devil. Bitch. No, they are not. No, the fuck they are not. We have rights. I'm trying not to be audibly laugh. I'm not trying to audibly laugh. Laugh, Red. You have an amazing laugh. I love. We have rice. We do. See? I have rice. I have my one tortilla, my piece of chicken, and one other thing. It's all I need, guys. It's all I need. Nom nom. So we get to the Korean War, and there is this real brave lady. She starts going into the American bases and basically dumpster dives to get any food. This is how Spam was introduced to Korea. Canned meats were introduced, and a lot of like preserved food that wasn't kimchi, like, you know, the canned gross preserved food that we have. That's how it was introduced to Korea, because a lady was like, yo, we're fucking starving. We're dying. We're in the middle of a war. North Korea is kicking, or like technically North Korea, but it was really just like kind of Japan. They're kicking our ass, and I can't feed my family, and I can't feed my community, because, like, let's not forget, food is very much a community thing at this point in Korea. So she's like, I can't feed my fucking family. So she sneaks onto an army base and just steals whatever she can get. Whatever she can get. And she creates the army base stew, which has been gentrified recently. Because Lord knows that white people wanna be up in everybody's business. It's been gentrified by a couple of very large white creators, and by that I mean they made army-based stew, but they called it something completely different. And they said they created it. Girl, no you didn't. It was Courtney Cooks or something like that. She's done this a few times. And I'm not sure if she intentionally does this or just her followers are dumb as shit. Because she does try to give some history when she's creating something, and then her followers take it and be like, look at this, it's a soy egg. It's a Mayak egg. It's Korean. Or this is my Courtney Cox's soup that is an army-based soup, and it has a really fucking tragic story. They are a slightly sweeter jalapeno. They are a slightly sweeter jalapeno. And they're delicious, actually. Lucas asked the same question yesterday when we were getting them from the store. He was like, what's the difference? They are older. They stay on the vine. So if you have a green bell pepper or you have a green jalapeno, it means it's young. They pick it almost immediately. If you let them stay on the vine, they start to change colors. So then you start getting things like a yellow bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and they tend to be a lot more developed in flavor, a lot sweeter in flavor, less like dirt. I don't like green bell peppers. They taste like dirt to me a little bit. I'll eat them and I'll put them in stuff, but they are not my favorite pepper, and I love bell peppers. I love bell peppers. So she creates the army-based stew because literally people are dying in an alarming rate from starvation. And it's something that she can go and steal supplies, make big batches, and feed people that she loved in her community. And then she starts passing on the recipes because, like I said, Korean women for centuries have been writing down the recipes in cookbooks that they pass on. So she basically did that in real time. Let's call it the blog. She created a blog, essentially. She actually wrote letters to other villages saying, hey, you can do this. Here's how you put this together. Feed your people. Feed your people. Stop letting these assholes occupy us. And yes, in my opinion, and from what I've heard from some Korean people who who had ancestors, who had not ancestors, but who had family that were in the Korean War, they felt like America was also occupying them. They did not feel free when America came into the Korean War. They felt like they were being occupied by two different, much larger forces. I don't care for bell peppers, but I think I have told that trauma to you. I don't think you have. I don't think you have. What is it? What is your bell pepper trauma? I'm sorry for the, there's two things in here side by side that you're not gonna, but to be fair, again, just like almost every Korean dish that we make, it's not necessary. You can literally make it however you want. This is our mirepoix, essentially. A mirepoix being like, there's not a celery or carrot. We kind of substitute it with bell pepper. It's almost like the Holy Trinity, to be very fair, from Cajun cooking. So she starts sending letters to people being like, hey, if you really like feed your family, here's something you can do. Go steal food. This is the recipe. It feeds a lot of people. It's something that we can all do to just make it better. And they make it through. Not with our help. And at the end of the Korean War, we have the United States, who has South Korea and is setting up basically, okay, cool, that's enough. We have South Korea, who's being set up by America as a democracy, quote unquote, and we have North Korea that's being set up by Japan as a dictatorship, and that's basically how they were like, okay, oops. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So we have the start of what we know today, which is the North and South Korea. One is set up as a democracy, the other one is set up as a dictatorship. Japan since then is no longer a dictatorship, but North Korea still is. And we get into basically modern times, and it hasn't really been until the last like 5 years that Korean food has become popular in the United States. And you can thank women for that. Korean women wanted to share their food because there's so many lies behind Korean food. You know, in the 80s, my mom was told when she ate bulgogi, she was eating dog. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots of lies when it comes to Korean food. And the reason that it's become way more popular, not just because of the internet, not just because of the like K-pop phenomenon, but because Korean women are just fucking done. They're done with everyone's bullshit and thinking that like Korean food is some gross, nasty thing. And it's not. It's fantastic, actually. And in those years since the Korean War, Korean women have taken up more space when it comes to being a professional. However, they're still treated like shit because like, what woman's not treated like shit in a professional kitchen? Because that's not where we're supposed to be. But Korean women are they've been running shit in the background, you know, the whole time. And so they just said, you know, fuck it. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to create the food that I want to. I'm going to make the food that I want to. And the first Michelin star restaurant ever in Korea was actually owned by a woman. And she has lots of cookbooks. She's amazing. And the men were like, oh, how dare she? How dare she get a star before me? How dare she do these things before me? How dare she like make fusion dishes before me? And she was just basically like, fuck you, bro. Screw you guys. I'm going home. And she's kind of like really started the trend of globalizing, the globalization of Korean food since the 90s. I am making a batter right now for our shrimp. It is just gonna have some chili powder. It has tempura powder, a Korean tempura powder. It's gonna have chili powder and garlic if I can find my garlic. Where's my garlic? I'm gonna need you. Oh, you're hiding behind my almond flour. You're hiding. You were forced to eat stuffed peppers and you refused and unrelated to scoop it up and pile it on a plate with nasty fingers and ugh! Oh, that is similar to the reason. Oh my god, that's baking powder. Oh, that is not my. Glad I saw that before I made a big mistake. I have so much seasoning, you guys. So much seasoning. Can't find any of my seasoning. I am gonna need ginger though. Let's see the ginger. I literally just, oh, why is it all the way at the top? I'm too short to see that. My brain was probably like, put it up there. It'll be easy. You'll know exactly where it is. You use it all the time. No. All right. Here's our batter. Take our frying oil. Gonna clean out our frying oil. And then we're going to put in, we're gonna start frying our shrimps. Frying our shrimps up because you have to fry them first. And then we're gonna basically saute them in their sauce. And we have the rice going. And after that, we can finish up our kimchi. After that, we can finish the kimchi, and I'm super excited about it. Woohoo! Big summer blowout. Anyway, men were pissed. They're not in my backyarding. They're like, how dare, even though fucking Korean cuisine was created by women. By women. They plotted something to make me grow. I still struggle with food trauma 20, 30 years later. I do too. I get that. I get that heavily. And I still very much struggle with a lot of food trauma too. Because trauma, let's put that shit on everything. Trauma, I put that shit on everything. When aren't we pissed? So the men were really pissed off. And they were like, how dare you? But the funniest part is they didn't do anything to try to be better, to make cuisines better. They just complained. Like, excuse me, if you want to complain about the fact that you don't have a Michelin star or that like food was literally created by Korean women, almost all of the Korean dishes were created by Korean women, fucking do something about it then. This minute trauma is not, it doesn't do anything. Trauma's not MSG, it doesn't do anything. Hey, it makes me creative. Actually, trauma is the reason why we have so much delicious food, because most dishes that we know that like are considered, you know, royalty food, the thing that we talk about a lot of the dishes that are considered royalty food were created out of trauma. Trauma. Oh, I forgot an interesting tidbit. During the Joseon Dynasty, and this has been misconstrued on media, like when you watch things that have to do with Korea and the Joseon Dynasty, you always see like a male chef, but more times than not, Korean women were the royal chefs. because they had the recipes passed down to them. And so they knew the food a lot better than their male counterparts did. So yes, they deserved the fucking Michelin star. They deserved to be recognized for the things that they have been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years. Back to my other thought. Doesn't go in anything. Love that you give Trauma the rainbow imagination from SpongeBob. Trauma. So the women like deserved that, and then we saw an uptick in the amount of women in the culinary world after that, in Korea, because like despite the fact that men hated them and thought lesser of them and thought they should only cook in kitchens for their home and their community, they were like, fuck this shit. Basically, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to live the passion that we're going to live. And we have all of these recipes that have literally been passed down for hundreds and thousands of years from our family that we can share with the world. And then we get into internet times, and America had a huge bias. A lot of countries, Eurocentric countries, obviously have a huge bias against Korean food. The same as Chinese. I'm 100% convinced that the reason that we originally had problems with Korean food in in the Eurocentric world is because, my guys, they can't even tell the difference between a Chinese person, a Korean person, and a Japanese person. Do you really think that they're going to be able to tell the difference between the foods? Other than sushi is Japanese. I'm pretty sure even some people even don't know that sushi is Japanese, which that's a mixed history. That's a mixed history. Not necessarily completely Japanese, but if you can't tell the difference between different Asian nations, you're probably not going to be able to tell the difference between Asian foods. And so the bias probably more than likely started out with, this is just Chinese food. Oh, what did they used to call it? Oriental food. This is just Oriental food. And it's not something that is good for me because of MSG, because they eat animals that I don't eat, because whatever the fucking reasoning was, they said, nah, this is not something that I'm going to eat because it's Asian, essentially. And we get to the internet times, and it started to grow as the Korean population grew in America, especially in coastal regions. So a lot in, New York and Boston and in LA, San Francisco, Seattle, things like that. We see a heavily growth in population of Korean people. So we actually start seeing a lot of Korean food start to come out of that. And how we talked about street food last week, there's a lot of regulation. It was very like a lot of these Korean restaurants were operating quote unquote illegally for a long time, because how dare we allow immigrants to actually come in and bring their culture and their food here, because white people have always been here. I have words. I have so many words. But we see a lot of Korean food start popping up in coastal regions, and people starting to understand. I think you're doing great, Persephone, and I'm happy for you. My dad still thinks he can get away with calling that. I found out when I cooked my mom bulgogi when she came over that she still thought that bulgogi meant dog, because her army friends told her it meant dog. I was like, good thing you're not friends with those people anymore, because there's not dog. They were being assholes to you. Sauce-wise. So we see it start growing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Okay, there it is. We start seeing it grow in the 70s, 80s, and 90s to become more of a This is a food you can get in a big city. And I'm gonna say that with like a grain of salt, because you could probably get it in lower cities and in like cities that are smaller and like small towns. But I can tell you, when I was in Texas, I was super excited that the old Dairy Queen became a Chinese restaurant. Because it was the only Chinese restaurant, and I'm pretty sure it was the only Chinese family in this town of about 1,000 people that was like the closest town to me. Can you get out from under my feet, please? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know why you think being under my feet is a smart thing. Okay, so we're just gonna let these sweat off for a little bit, really get that flavor. I'm gonna throw in the garlic, and then we'll put the sauce in. Basically, after we put in the shrimp that we're about to fry it. Fry it. Fry it, fry it, fry it. I mean, to be fair, my favorite ramen flavor was the blue plaque oriental. I legit didn't know what it meant. I was gonna talk about that being a flavor of the ramen, the instant ramen. Cause like I remember, and I was wondering if they still made that flavor, if they changed the name of it. They probably call it like soy sauce or something now. Cause I've seen that a lot of the racist dialogue that we used to use, like Oriental, has like changed into a different name, and that name is just soy sauce. This is soy sauce flavor. And I find that, I mean, technically it is just soy sauce flavor, but why did we think that soy sauce was just like, that's the flavor of Asian people? Why did we go? Who branded that? Who marketed that? They were like, you know what Asians eat? Soy sauce, and that's it. Fucking ridiculous, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a little mad right now. I'm getting a little bit peeved. Hope it makes sense to you why I'm getting peeved. So we're in the 70s and 80s. Koreans are immigrating to the Eurocentric countries a lot more. They're bringing their food. They're obviously being like heavily chastised about their food. Because why not? Ouchie. Because we gotta tell immigrants that they're lesser than us somehow, even though we don't actually own the fucking land we're on, and half the food that we eat is from immigrants. But what do I know? I'm just a female fucking chef. Chef, as I got called earlier. A chef, quote unquote. Yeah, I run kitchens. I'm a fucking chef. Anyway, which means we start seeing an uptick of actual Korean food coming, and they didn't do well. It's just generic soy sauce flavor. And I'm like, that flavor needs to be paired with something, not just like, even in Asian cuisine, it's usually mixed with something else. It's never just soy sauce. It's never just soy sauce. It's usually mixed with other things. So I don't know, some fucking white ass marketer, probably a blonde Christian, was like, oh my God, guys. So like one time I went on vacation and I went to China and there was like soy sauce everywhere. So our oriental flavor is totally soy sauce. 100% that's probably what happened. Our man. Either a bleach blonde girl or an old ass man. He probably went and found his wife, because that's what men did back then. Anyway, they went to other countries, kidnapped women, and then said, you're my wife, you have to do everything for me now. I'm not kidding. If you see a lot of mixed race families, and it started off with a woman, like especially in the early, like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, there is a chance that she did not know what she was getting into. Hugh Hefner or Jessica Simpson made so, yeah, pretty much. And so they did not do well. Korean food has done very poorly in America because of its heat level. And as we know, Caucasians are really bad with spice. Unless you train yourself to be more, unless you train yourself to actually like have that taste a little bit more in your palate. Caucasians are really shitty at spice. And it's probably also because we did not have access, especially poor Caucasians did not have access to spice for a very long time. It was a rich bitch thing. Chilies, unless we grew them ourselves, we didn't really have them. It was too rich for our taste buds, literally. And so it didn't do well. It was sweet, it was spicy, it was nothing like we had. I'd like to attest we had it. We had the same flavor profile. We've had it for a very long time. It's called Mexican food. But I digress. I hear you. I just wanted to say you are wonderful, you two, both of you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Starting to sound like you have shoes on and in the kitchen. What the? Are you a chef or are you a woman? Are you a chef or are you a woman? Because you can't be both in America. No, no, no. Boy, you could shoot me if I ever got. Never mind. I'm not saying that on the internet. Never, I'm not. I live in a place where they're trying to literally, if you get an abortion, you get the death sentence. So like, I gotta be careful with what I say. I am almost 36 years old, so like, that's not something that's happening for me because my body would break. I already have one kid. I don't need another. I have the kid that perfectly matches me. I do not need another. And I can't wait to see what they do with their life because I think they're going to do some amazing things. So it didn't do well here because the flavor was not something we were used to. It was sweet, it was spicy, it was something, it had meat that we couldn't really tell what it was. It was pork. It was pork belly. You literally eat it with bacon, so I don't understand the whole like, ew, that's a mystery meat. It's either chicken, fish, or pork belly. You eat all of these things as a white person. Bacon is made from pork belly most of the time. I'm gonna. Milk time. Milk time. Pork belly is so freaking good, right? Especially when you crisp up that skin, the outside of it, that you render down that fat until it's super crispy, and then you have that like melt in your mouth part of the meat. It's so good. It's so good. I love pork belly and bacon. Obviously, I like bacon. I have a sign in the back of my kitchen that says bacon. Bacon, the real reason I could never be a vegetarian again. I'm just saying. There's no good alternatives to bacon. I heard pork. The way to be like gotcha during the time period when Korean food started really becoming popular in America, and it was surprise. Is this a surprise to anybody? Mostly Korean women started these restaurants. Surprised anybody? That we hated it and that we called it names and said that they used mystery meat and things like that? Is that honestly a surprise? Because what have we learned on this channel? What do Americans hate the most? And I'm not saying like all Americans, obviously, but like the government and a certain kind of American. What do they hate the most? Women and immigrants and anyone that is a different color than them. Because for some reason, we're still following the laws of men from the 1700s who thought that white people were superior. And they're not. They're not. We're not. We're not even the majority in the world. We're just the fucking loudest. and most violent and most insane. Because, like, that's honestly the truth. You've never had outside of bacon? Persephone, you really like it. You render it slowly on a like kind of a low temperature to really get that fat out. You and the damn milk bath. You know the deal. And so obviously we're going to try to badmouth Korean food and like really start some heavy ass rumors because it's Korean women that are running this and we fucking hate women. America hates women. They're immigrants and women. Fuck off. Get out of here. Get out of here with that shit. And essentially it wasn't until more recently, until the internet came out, until we started having global perspectives of things. And even then, y'all know that our quote unquote global perspective is heavily skewed, right? Like we still don't actually know our fellow world neighbors. We still don't fucking know the neighbors. We've seen them, we've said hi, but we still have this radically racist bias against them. And I'm pointing out to most Asian countries because, like, China is not what you think China is, neither is Korea. But we see a lot more, Korean food than we've ever seen, and it's specifically because Korean women were like, I make really good food. It's super healthy for you. You can use it as a way to like treat your body nicely. You can use it as a way to do all of these things. And then like obviously K-pop became a thing. It's always been a thing, but it became a more popular, more globalized thing. And so we see Korean becoming more mainstream now, and it's mostly because like Korean women put in the fucking work. They put in the work and they said, I'm tired of this. My culture is wonderful. My culture and the food has been passed down from generation to generation, and I want to share it with everybody. And then we have the problem, and like I'm so freaking grateful for that. I am so grateful for that. But we do have the issue now that a lot of a certain type of white woman, they now come on and be like, I created this. Looking at you, Courtney Cooks. Looking at you with your Mayak and your army stew that you, in fact, did not create. All right, our shrimp is almost done, and then we're gonna turn off the heat on this, put it back where it belongs. I'm almost done. So in here we have soy sauce, a little bit of fish sauce, sugar, rice vinegar. I have to put in a little bit of wine, and probably a little bit more sugar than this actually, and sesame oil. And this is gonna be our sauce for our, oh, I don't have any wine. Never mind. Never mind. This is gonna be our sauce for when we put the shrimp into this dish. Get our shrimpies out. Mind you, I'm not saying that Korean people are like, you know, angels or anything like that. They've had their fair share of racism. They've had their fair share of like colorism and things like that. And we really see that when they fight South Asia. They really have a beef with like Malaysian people right now. Because a lot of the food crosses over between Malaysia and Korea, and so it's mostly a fight of who created this. Who created this? Michelin star brekkie.
Fast food cereal.
Milk bath with cereal. Ugh. I'll get Victor on this. I'm living for the absolute chaos that always happens in any of the stream. Doesn't matter what you make or topic, it all leads to chaos. It does. It does. Well, it's mostly because, like, food history sometimes, like, really pisses me the hell off. You know what grinds my gears? How little people are respected when it comes to, like, just in general. Like, how little people are respected in general. Mostly because we've been taught a certain stereotype for, like, so long. And, like, people refuse to change their ways. And they refuse to see that, yeah, people are different, but that's a good thing. Like, without people being different, we would not have half of the things that we have today. And so it's, like, such a good thing to interact with people and to really see from a level, like, who they are, where they come from, their likes, their wants, their needs, why things were created, especially in food, why things were created, why things ended up the way that they did. And it gives you a level of respect that generally no one has. Okay. We're just gonna bring this down. Like, basically, we're reducing the sauce that has the shrimp in it, and this will be finished, and we can finish our kimchi. You're gonna try the new ones at some point? Ooh, I'm super excited. I'm so excited for you. Nothing special? I'm so very excited. I love mustard. Mustard was one thing I did not like growing up that I have come to really like and really appreciate. Also, that being said, if you ever want to make food from a different region, make sure that you are using correct sources, and make sure that you, like, cite those sources, and that you pay cultural respect towards the places that you are making food from. Kind of the reason we started doing the history is because, like, honestly, cultural respect is something that I heavily believe in, and food is a way to do that, is to respect them and be very. Oh yay, the rice is on 10 minutes, so this is all gonna finish up about the same time, except for the kimchi. I need to find my kimchi pickle bottle. There's my kimchi pickle bottle. We don't have much left of the kimchi. We basically are just gonna massage it after this in its paste, and just set it to the side, because it is going to be warm, so this will ferment really nicely. Oh, it said it was made with white wine. Oh yeah. Okay. And so the biggest issue that we're seeing today, the biggest issue that we really see today when it comes to Korean food is that we still have a lot of these biases, that it's made from, like, meats that we don't eat. It's not. That it's got too much, like, sweet and spicy and sour, and, like, it has too much flavor, is the best way to put it. And so while it is growing in popularity, a lot of the places that are opening that are Korean, you got to be really careful. There's a lot of white Korean places opening right now. I typically don't care for the taste of alcohols in food. I know white wine are good for deglazing pans. Yeah, they are. And also, when you cook wine, it just tastes like grapes.
when you cook like a white wine specifically, it just starts tasting like grapes because it has like a very bright flavor to it. We're gonna finish this off, and then when we get back from the ad, we'll finish our kimchi. Again, that's not gonna take that long, and then we'll rate out to somebody, probably gonna be Steve since Steve is already on. And we'll rate out for somebody, and we will see you again tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow Lucas and I will have a little bit more brain, a little bit less exhaustion, and a little less grumpy because I'm pretty grumpy right now. But yeah, so thank you, Korean women who have brought us these delicacies from hundreds of years ago and allowed us to have your food and allowed us to be in your community. I really just want to say thank you because Korean food really taught me the community aspect of food. And I think that's what I was always missing in my food career, is that I didn't realize I can make something really pretty. I can make something taste really good, but I didn't realize how much of an impact community has on your food and how much an impact history has on your food. And so thanks to the Korean mamas who have shared these foods with me, I have a new appreciation for food. And that's why I really wanted to do the history of Korean food with the basis of women, because they are the ones who put their blood, sweat, and tears into this. And I really appreciate that. Yeah, we got 30 minutes left to stream. Rainbow Booty Cat. It won't, like I said, this won't take that long. It has been soaking long enough. It won't take that long. We got to put the paste together and massage it and then put it into the bottle, and then it'll be good to go. Our ad is starting in about 5 seconds. It'll probably be another 10 seconds after that, and then we will have our second ad come up, and then we will finish off everything. And if there's anything that I missed and that you know of Korean, the food history of Korean women, let me know, because I am always learning and I really enjoy that. You can wiggle your wieners at me. Hell yeah. We're not eating wieners today. We're eating shrimps. Shrimp. It's lovely shrimps. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you guys for watching the ads when they come up, because ads help pay for a lot of things for us that actually ends up being like a good chunk of change. So you're supporting the stream in a very indirect way just by sitting through the ads. I very much appreciate that. If you have a subscription, thank you. Thank you for being subscribed. I hope that you enjoy hearing the background talk, because that's usually what happens. Please go fill out your mystery ingredients if you are a subscriber, so that we can add that into our next couple of weeks of streaming, and be able to have a chopped day, I guess. No history, just chopped. And if you're not subscribed, you can, you know, we're in ads. Good. I'm gonna go sit down. Hi, Z. We are in an ad break, Z, so we are attempting to, oh my God, attempting to sit down for a second and breathe. Hey, I didn't do too terribly with my, oh my God, with my stupid chat being not readable. Yay. There's a lot. This is a lot of history. And I skipped over about 600 years. I am very, very tired. Oh no, someone's coming at me because Kanara got suspended for bullying me. And they said they need to come after me for saying that it's a user error. Because apparently that is as bad as, hey, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down.
Lol. I'll just respond to lol.
All right, guys, welcome back. And with that, our rice is done. That's nice. Okay, I am gonna speak on, like, I told you guys yesterday that I was only gonna speak on the drama once, but girl, I'm gonna go ahead and say what happened yesterday. So a lot of you guys know a little bit of what happened yesterday while we're making our kimchi. So the first thing that we're gonna do with our kimchi is we're gonna rinse it. Get all of the salt off and make sure that it is clean when we start to massage it with the paste that we're gonna make. That means I'm going to clean out the sink a little bit before we get started. Just go ahead and put this in there for a little bit longer. We're gonna clean out the sink before we get started so I have a clean working space, because when fermenting, you need to make sure that you have the cleanest space. And I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna rant for a second. We're gonna talk about drama. My stream was paused. That's so funny. That's so funny. The cats come out and play. They really do. And welcome in, Z. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having one of the best days ever. Because you know what? Screw people. That's all I have to say. Okay, so here's a story from A to Z. You want to get with me, you better listen carefully. There is this large creator. I didn't know her. I didn't know she was a large creator. She posted something stupid. I called her out on it, essentially. So she posted, I can't believe people use pressure cookers, or does anybody actually use pressure cookers? Because every time I make something in the Instant Pot, it tastes like change. It tastes like nickels. She specifically said it tastes like nickels. And me being me, again, no idea who this woman is. I didn't even look at her profile picture. I said, hey, like, I'm a professional chef and I teach food and I teach cooking. If your food, like, lots of restaurants use pressure cookers, and so you probably eat a lot of pressure cooked food when you go out to eat. And if it's tasting like nickels, it's tasting like change, it's a user error. That's it. That's all I said. So she proceeds to attack my looks, attack my food, attack me, send people to attack me. It's still going on, by the way, especially now that she got suspended for bullying. She proceeded to attack me and send her lackeys because she has almost 300,000 followers. Now I have 1,000, but I had at the time like 700 followers. I don't know you, girl. I do know that usually if you're using a pressure cooker and it tastes like change, that shit's not cleaned. Not correctly. It's either not stored correctly or it's got soap residue on it, because the chemical reaction that happens when you have soap residue in a pressure cooker, because of how the pressure cooker works, it usually ends up tasting very metallic, which is the taste of change, very metallic. And she called me racist for telling her that it's probably a user error. And her, like, lackeys, which are mostly white women, by the way, they were like, "You're such a racist. You think that, like, you called her food terrible." Yeah, it's racist to say that if your food comes out metallic tasting, it's probably a user error. I'm not insulting your intelligence. I'm not insulting your food. I'm saying that you could probably get into pressure cookers by changing something. Thanks for laughing at my joke. Or however the name is spelled. I'm a vacuum or a $3 whore when it comes to spelling. I suck at it. Me too. Me too. So by telling her that, apparently I got, like, they said that it was a microaggression. Excuse me, no, I will tell any white person that if a white person had posted it, I would say, hey, lots of restaurants use pressure cookers. You probably eat pressure cooker food a lot. It's probably a user error, because it is. It is a user error. If it tastes like, yes. So it's not probably drying it. There's a lot. It's not handled well. Your pressure cooker has not been handled well. That's not anything on you. You probably don't know these things. You probably have no idea about any of this because you're not like a professional cook, which is why I'm telling you, as a professional cook, this is a user error. I'm just rinsing my cabbage, you guys. And so I got death threats out the wazoo. I got told off. Whatever. You know what? That's fine. You can do with it what you will. If she was the only one to do it, fine. It's your space. It's your space. And sorry that I posted a answer to your public profile question. Public profile question, by the way. Like, it's not like I was trying to get in your space. It popped up on Threads because I am a chef. And I usually answer questions like this. Is the same Lantern the post revenge porn, got someone's dog taken away, and uses being black as a shield. She also yesterday said that Palestinians are white passing and have white privilege. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. To a dude who was standing up for me, by the way. She said that he has white privilege as a Palestinian who are actively being killed and genocided, and an Arab in America is treated like shit and has been for most of the. Do you guys know why we don't have Arab as a race. We don't have Arab as a race on like the things that you fill out, like the census forms and like that, because the United States believes so little, the government believes so little in Arab people that they equate them to animals and do not think that they should be counted in the census at all. At all. So she went after an Arab man, a Palestinian, and said he has white privilege. And so that's the other thing that he did, or that she did yesterday. She was trending big time. And then she went after another Black woman activist who is a professor and teaches on race studies, and called her fake and tried to get her fired from her job and shit like that, because this lady is actually like way more well known than the other girl is, even though she had like 300,000 followers or something like that. That's beyond fucked up. Yeah. I agree. So she sent her lackeys after me. I blocked her after like I found out that she had posted the mean shit that she said about me. It was hard to keep blocking people, because it's basically what I had to do all day yesterday, was just keep blocking people because my like notifications were blowing up. And it was either people being very supportive and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Or it was people being like assholes and telling me to kill myself and that I should just have someone, that Kanara should have someone to come and kill me at my house and stuff like that. So yesterday was weird. And this is my life and it's kind of weird. All because I told you that it's probably a user error. Some good things came out of it. I made some new friends. A cookbook author who is an amazing like queer personality. She's wonderful. I've been following her for a while, but she wants to like have a conversation and like talk about cookbooks and stuff like that. Your kitchen and the kimchi. So she like apparently, yeah, and she also tried to like double down on her like hate on me or whatever, because she was like, look, she's so mean to people. She's so mean. And when she was corrected by my pronouns, people are like, she was like, I don't give a fuck, and like started becoming really transphobic about things. But I was apparently really bad because I called a fake Christian a fake Christian. And I made fun of her, like, I didn't even make fun of her bleach blonde hair. She said, why are people still masking in 2026? That shit has been over for 6 years. And I was like, why are fake blondes still pretending that they're Christian? They're Christian in the year 2026. That shit's been over for 2026 years. And that's the worst that they could find of me. Other than the fact that like
juices from the slow-cooked bacon overflow to every corner of my mouth.
You guys are in the middle of me ranting. I went accidentally viral for the worst possible reasons yesterday. Thank you so much. You guys go follow the Only Deaf guy, please. Not only does he have a cafe that he runs with family, he does a lot of cool stuff on other streams. He was building models. I was hanging out there the other day and just watching him build models. He's such a sweet person. Go and follow. Super chill guy, British, amazing, also deaf like most of my family, which I like seeing the representation. And welcome in, Raiders. My name is MomNom. I'm a professional chef for about 20 years. Today we're talking about Korean women in food and how they shaped the food of Korea. And we're making kimchi, and we've also made this sweet and spicy, not pork, shrimp, that we have yet to eat, because we're going to finish up finish up our kimchi. We have about 20 minutes left trying to finish the kimchi. We're making the paste for it right now. We have rice over in the rice cooker, and I'm ranting about accidentally going viral because I told somebody that if their food tastes metallic out of a pressure cooker, it's probably a user error. a user error. How do you remove a mask you wear 24/7 that you've been years building up? Oh my god. Love you guys. Love you guys so much. Therapy. Facts. Facts. Anyway, we're on the point that I had like blocked her and she still like took screenshots and had her, she had like 300,000 followers almost. And so she sent people after me, essentially. CC would be awesome. Even text-to-speech would be amazing tool. Heck yes. Are you including the SpongeBob rainbow with this? The more therapy. It's therapy. How do you remove generational trauma? Therapy. All right. I'm getting to my notes for my regular recipe. I've been slowly changing this recipe based on what my needs are and what we're doing in it. That is not, that was the last recipe I used. It's not from this month's. Let's go! Can we also remove white men in power with therapy, please? Oh my god. Well, drama on Twitch? No, wait, this is actually on Threads. Where are Threads? It's a text pretty much like Twitter, but it's on it's Instagram's counterpart. It's like OG Twitter and Tumblr from 2014 had a baby and out popped Threads in the best possible way, except for yesterday. Except for yesterday. Yesterday was not my friend. I did not have fun with that one. Okay, so for our paste, we're going to use some ginger powder. We're also going to use some gochugaru, which is chili flakes, powdered chili flakes from Korea. We need sugar and garlic and salt, and I believe that's it. Yeah. How many more do we need? A bunch until we can actually figure out, until we can actually have one that isn't ran by the oligarchy, essentially. Okay, so we're doing brown sugar because I want this to be a deeper flavor than I usually do. And I think I'm gonna do some fresh garlic as well as some garlic powder. Like I said, I am constantly changing this recipe to make it fit us better and our flavors and our needs a little bit. Thank you to the Korean women in the early times who made this a thing for us, because honestly, I cannot live without kimchi anymore. Okay, so she said, you know, by me saying that a food is user error, that is like, if you get that taste, it's a user error. I'll say it about my own damn self. If I get a food that doesn't taste right, I'm like, yeah, that was a fucking user error. And so we basically, like, she sent cronies. I got like, well, it's more now, but I got like 200 death threats yesterday. And it was wild. I haven't had that much attention in a long time. And it was weird because I was all over my platform. I was all over my actual page without anyone really knowing who I was. Like, no one really knew. No one knew. And apparently she got, like, that went on all night, basically. All yesterday and the day before. And okay. All right, cool. I have everything that I need for this. So we're gonna throw in the rest of that, throw in a tiny bit of salt. We're gonna add a little bit of sesame oil and a little bit of rice wine vinegar, splash of water, and gochugaru. And this will be ready to massage into our Napa cabbage to start the fermentation process after we make this paste. And so apparently she got suspended, and someone was like, Meta needs to suspend MomNoms too. Excuse me? What did I do? Because apparently what I said, she considered a microaggression, and I was like, girl, I don't even know you. I didn't look at your profile picture. I have no idea who you were. I'm just answering a question that you asked on a public forum. I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on.
They love us.
Oh, no, not Kanara. Not Kanara. Kanara is good people. I guess I still, it's this creator posted a question asking, like, basically, what do people, like, why do people use pressure cookers? Because every time she makes something out of it, it tastes like metal. And I said, I basically said, hey, you've probably eaten a lot of food that has been made with a pressure cooker, because all restaurants use it. It's probably a user error, because I know for a fact it's a user error. And she said it was racist, because she's like, but I don't know why. She said that I was insulting her intelligence. She came after me. She sent all of her followers after me. She tried to find bad things on my social media, and the things that she pointed out as bad is literally me defending people against racism, especially when it comes to food, because what do? I'm a chef who teaches food history. And if you're going to be racist against food, I'm going to tell you what it actually is. And if you're not going to use a kitchen product that you spent a lot of money on, I'm going to tell you how to fix it. I'm going to tell you that it's a user error and how to fix it. Because you spent too much damn money on that product to just be like, this is shit. Kanara is very, very good people. We are good toxic. Not trash. And so she got suspended, and apparently me, who never went after her again, by the way, other than to tell people, hey, like, if you followed me because of this reason, hi, happy to have you, but like, literally it says, do not go after the other person. She has the right to her own space. We are part of the block gang around here. Just block it. If you don't like it, just block it. And so I said that, and apparently one of her followers now thinks like that I should be suspended off of Threads because I told her that it was a user error and that's a microaggression, and it's not. I've literally, Lucas, how many times have I told you something's a user error? Like, it's part of my vernacular. If like something goes wrong, I'm like, hey, it's probably a user error. Probably because I worked in tech. But it's crazy, guys. I don't like going viral. I don't like death threats. And someone told me this morning, why are you trying to become famous? Why are you, if you're a real cook, you should just cook things for free and teach people how to cook for free. And I was like, I do teach people how to cook for free. If they subscribe to me or they donate in any way, I'm super happy because it helps keep this going. But Twitch is a free platform. The things that I post on my blog, free. I've done a lot of cooking classes for children for free. And when I actually have money, which I don't have money right now, a lot of my money goes to No Kid Hungry, because that is my charity of choice, or the local food banks, because I think that everyone deserves to be fed. I think everyone has the right to be fed. Oh no. And I teach history of food because it's generally really sexist, classist, and racist. And I think people need to know this. So there's my rant. People are dumb. I'm gonna just keep blocking people right now. I also use ID 10T error. Generally throughout the, at the start of things, because sometimes misunderstandings, like, oh my God, I think she was gonna misunderstand me no matter what I said, Seth. She was gonna do it anyway. I was a scapegoat for her because she came after me after she went like she came after me harder after she went after the Palestinian man and started getting hardcore called out. So I was always a scapegoat, essentially. Okay, that's you mix in your paste, which has the little tiny shrimpies and gochugaru and garlic, ginger, rice wine vinegar, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of vinegar and water. And you come out with this, which you have to try to stuff all in this baby. And we're gonna pour the lovely liquid that's at the bottom of this in here at the end, and we're gonna let this ferment until next week on stream, and then we will take a bite of it and put it into our refrigerator to finish fermentation. And I did too much cabbage, guys. I think I'm gonna have to just put the other cabbage into the other jar because I have too much cabbage. Hold on a second. Let me get my other jar, and I guess we'll do a dual fermentation. They look for that type of people of views, and then the lackeys come to defend them and think they're do nothing. Yeah, it's insane. Also, like, if it would have been if I would have done that knowing who the person is or knowing anything, I would have probably apologized. Well, if she would have just been like, hey, let's have a conversation. To me, this feels like a micro transgression, but she didn't, because it wasn't. It was literally, yo, that metallic taste comes for a few reasons, and it's usually something that you're doing wrong. That's not insulting your intelligence. That's just how it is. I have even done things wrong myself in the kitchen, and I will say it every time if it's something that I did wrong. All right, now we have our brining liquid that we can pour into the other one. The brining liquid that is left from our last kimchi can be the fermentation of this kimchi. Go ahead and just pop that. Sorry, Raiders, for the rants. I had just started on it, and I feel very bad, but I was going to finish that story. And we're going to get producer Red to taste test the food that we made today before the end, and then we're going to rate out. So if you're making kimchi at home, the first couple of days, you really want to push down. When it starts to soften, you want to push down so that all of the liquid comes out and all of that brining, that the vegetables are underneath the brining. It helps a lot with the fermentation process, and it makes sure that you don't get mold or mildew or any nasty thing in your kimchi, because you can do that in fermenting. You can get some really gross stuff. And we will bring these back out next Wednesday when we do our next Korean dish. And I'm going to read this real quick. A genuine question. What is it? Oh, it starts hot and then you slow the fermentation down when it's cold. Because it continues to ferment when it goes into the fridge. When it gets cold, it continues to ferment. It just slows it down a lot. The Art of is a really good book that teaches techniques to make all kinds of things, even how, wow, Oh, you have all the good books. You have all the good books. All right, let's get some of this rice real quick. Cause I'm only feeding producer Red a tiny bite of this because this is our lunch. And we're almost done. Gonna throw in some, make sure there's veggie in here. This is very pretty. This is like very, very pretty. I love using different kinds of peppers because it always turns out to be such a gorgeous looking dish. Like, look at that. Very pretty. Do you want chopsticks or do you want a fork? Chopstick. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Better not let me know. I'm addicted to books. It's a serious issue. I will highly, like, if you ever are like, hey, I have a book I want to send you, yeah, do it. Do it. I want it. I want it. I want all of the books. Oh my god. I use Korean rounded off metal chopsticks. They're just kind of like average size. It's not as spicy as I thought it was going to be. I saw him. I saw him at that books. You have a love-hate relationship. I have found some really good things on thrift books. But you know what? I really enjoy going to half-price books and just finding what I can find. That's where we found the history of food and the food myths book that I've been reading through lately. Excuse me, I need to block the person who made me start on this rant.
No, it's my fault, Cat.
Oh, did I block her already? Or did she just block me? I think she just blocked me. But why the hell do I now have 1,200 followers on Threads? I started out yesterday with 720. Okay. It's such an amazing store. I love their selection and prices. If I didn't live in a bus, I'd be drowning in books. Don't have enough space for the ones I have already. If you ever need to get rid of some books, send them to me. I turned my living room into a library, and my living room is now in the dining room. And where the camera and everything is set up is our kitchen, is our dining table. Or we eat outside because we have a porch that's screened in, and someone left a giant table that lived here before, so we just use it. We just use it as our place that we eat when the weather is nice. The jalapenos come out so nicely and kind of sweet. I expected sweet heat, but I got sweet nice instead. Yes, okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, you downed that. Good? Yay. I do have a stack in storage, mostly survival books and nature related. I love nature books to be. Those shrimpies are great. Send, I think it would be cheaper to make a trip and drop them off no matter where they live. That's fair. That's fair. They are in Oregon, so it is quite literally the other side of the country. I think it would take like 28 hours of driving to get there. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. Because when I drove to San Francisco from where I was in Texas, that took 29 hours and we only stopped for gas and went through drive-thrus for food. basically. Anyway, you guys, so what's your rating?
People can see that now. It's the cameras.
Yum? Books are heavy. Yeah, they are. Not shrimpies from... No, they're not shrimpies from Walmart where they're radioactive, I promise you. They're Gulf shrimp. They're pink lady Gulf shrimp. They are frozen. Mostly because I just didn't feel like cleaning fresh shrimp. Because that shit takes forever. Anyway, we're going to... Yum, yum, yum out of 10. Human magazines are heavy if you have enough. Seffi would not eat it. No new superpowers for you. I wish I got some superpowers. Come on. Come on, I need a superpower. Give me something. The power to make a lot of money so that I don't have to worry and I can do the things that I love, like teaching food and cooking history and food history. Come on, superpowers. Radioactive shrimp, help me out here. Help me out here. Not with peppers, onions, and shrimp. Oh, yeah. You're not a big fan of the big shrimp flavor. Yeah, when you're using those tiny shrimp, don't use a lot. They don't have a big flavor. It did not come out in the kimchi that I was making the last time. They don't have a big salty, fishy, shrimpy flavor, but I still would not use that much. Okay, guys, we're gonna rate out to Chef Steve, I believe, who is prepping for the week. Tell him MomNoms sent you. Have some fun over there. He's one of my favorite streamers. Give him a follow. He has a food truck with Creme Delish, who's another amazing streamer, because we're gonna have to get off before they start cutting the grass, because you'll be able to hear it all. And they apparently do that on Wednesday afternoons. Let's run our outro. Get healthy. I enjoyed the stream. I'm so happy that you enjoyed the stream. Good luck with the mentorship things. I know, I'm excited to see if I get it. I really hope I get it. Appreciate you guys. No, I appreciate you. Tomorrow, as the outro is running tomorrow, we are going to be studying American women food history, and it has a lot to do with racism and a lot to do with sexism, obviously, and a lot of freaking cool people, man. There's so many cool people. We're going to go right out to Chef Steve. We love him. He's one of our best friends on this platform. We want to grow the food channel with him, the Food and Drink Network with him. And yeah, thank you guys. If you haven't followed and you're here, hit that follow button so that that counts for next time. And if you want to support the channel, you can do it many ways, including subscriptions here, or on Coffee, or donations and bits and things like that. And we appreciate each and every, it goes into paying for bills. It goes into paying bills. And join our Discord because we talk about food. Bye, guys. Thanks for being the proper toxic for this community. Yeah. I'm a good toxic, I guess.